Excuse me, excuse me, just I will pin the timer.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Salmaa ZIGHEM, are you living in a house or a hose? Are you living in a house or a hose? Salmaa ZIGHEM.
Karim and Rashid are two friends who haven't met for 10 years since they graduated. Once, Rashid was walking when suddenly he met his friend Karim getting out of a very luxury car. After greeting, they asked each other about their lives. So Karim started and said, okay, I've been promoted in my company until I became a director with good salary, a luxury car, as you see, and a big house with about 5,000 square meters as surface. And you? Same here, said Rashid. I have a luxury car too, but I prefer walking. And I have a very big house with 5,000 meters just in the length. Astonished, his friend replied, wow, what a big house, 5,000 meters just in the length. What about the width? Rashid realized that he had too exaggerated. And to make the surface acceptable, he said, you think, yes, in my house there is 5,000 meters in the length and the width is about 2 centimeters. Ironically, his friend asked him, are you living in a house or in a house? Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, actually, many of us are living in a house, not in the reality, but in their minds. And that's when they compare continuously themselves to others. In this house of comparison, we are pressed all the time like water. We can't breathe. We can't move. In this house of comparison, there is no windows, so we can't see all opportunities around us. So what should we do? Of course, we should stop immediately to compare ourselves to others. That's obvious. But guess what? We can't. We can't stop comparing ourselves to others. We don't have here a button to push on when we want that. It's a human nature, comparison. So what's the solution? The solution is, okay, relax. You can do this comparison, but you should be aware of how do you compare yourself to others. Dear Toastmasters and guests, I will share you in this speech 2 tips to compare safely ourselves to others. First tip, get rid of this. Comparison becomes dangerous when we use the magnifying glass, when we zoom in on just one area. And in general, this is the area where we are bad and the other is good. We compare the worst of us with the best of the others. As Toastmaster, we can do the same mistake. For example, if someone has a low voice, he is always comparing himself to people who have low voice. If someone has difficulties in language, he is always attracted by people who speak fluently. And that is unfair toward ourselves to focus just on this area where we are bad. So what should we do? We should take a step back to see the whole picture, because you are not just restricted to one area. You are good enough in many other areas. You should take a step back to see the whole picture and to focus on your point of strength. So, to compare safely yourself to others, you should not neglect your point of strength while you are doing this comparison. The second tip is focus on your own time zone. When I discovered this concept of time zone, I was eager to share it with anybody I met because I found it very, very important. And to make clear this concept of time zone, I will tell you a personal true story. I have two nieces, Miriam and Sarah. Even if Miriam is younger, she graduated before her sister. So all the family criticizes Sarah at that moment, directly or indirectly. Many years later, Sarah got married, had a child, and she decided to return back to school and she managed to graduate. At that moment, all the same members came to Sarah to tell her, "We are proud of you, Sarah." Neither Miriam was early, nor Sarah was late. Each of them was in her own time zone. Me too, you, and you. Every one of us has his or her own time zone. You are not late. You are not early. You are on time. So relax. If you are more than 40, not yet married, don't worry. You are not late. If you are less than 30, married with 3 or 4 children, relax. You are not early. You are on time. So focus on your own time zone and you will improve well. To summarize, if you want to compare safely yourself to others, don't neglect while comparing your point of strength. And 2, put your feet on your own time zone. With that, you will be able to get out from this house, and no one will dare to ask you this question: are you living in a house or in a house? Back to you, Mr. Contestant.